You can legit play every retro game from every retro console on this little device. It's kind of crazy. I feel like I'm making it up, but I'm not. And it doesn't stop there. There are new modern features that we can add, like achievements. Those dumb dopamine hits you get when you're playing your PS5 and Xbox, you now get that when you finally beat the special cup. Boom, achievement unlocked, and you can pretend like your life has meaning. You can also add save states. Game Shark cheats. Are you kidding me? I used to have to install a physical device on my Game Boy to make that happen. You can also use whatever controller you want, pick your era, you can be there. And this is the craziest feature of all, online multiplayer. No more couch co-op, you can be anywhere playing your friend in Mario Kart online. So in this video, we're gonna show you how to make your very own RetroPie dream gaming machine. And by we, I mean me and Alex. I made him do all the work on this video. For the past few weeks, I told him to forget everything but breathing and RetroPie.
Empty your mind of everything that doesn't have to do with
RetroPie.
He knows this thing inside and out, and he made sure that every step and every feature is perfect. Right, Alex? No pressure. Be nice in the comments, it's his first time helping me with a main video. Oh, and by the way, we're gonna play online together at the end of the video. Separate locations, 2 different Raspberry Pis. Now I know what you're thinking. Chuck, I can do this on my iPhone now. Sure, but it's not as cool. This is better, so just do this. Now before we get started, what do you need? How do you make this stuff happen? First, you'll need a Raspberry Pi. A Raspberry Pi 4 will work. I don't recommend anything lower. And if you had a Raspberry Pi 5, you'll have a good time. Now, optionally, if you don't have a Raspberry Pi, you can actually install RetroPie on a machine running Ubuntu. Check the documentation on the specifics on that, but it's possible. But for this video, we're just gonna cover Raspberry Pis. Now, like any Raspberry Pi project, you'll also need a microSD card. Size is up to you, but if you're gonna load up a ton of ROMs, a ton of classic games, bigger the better. You'll also need a power supply, a keyboard, and some kind of monitor. This could be your TV. In fact, if you're gonna be using this as a gaming console, which you totally can, a TV is preferable. For our setup, we're using an old CRT TV. Alex found it in his parents' closet, and I had to show him how to use it. Poor kid. Optionally, you may want a gamepad. We'll be using an Xbox controller, but you can pretty much use anything. Just make sure you check compatibility. And depending on your setup, you may want a set of speakers. But if you're using HDMI, it should just output over that. We have links below for all that. Now, Alex is gonna show you how to set up RetroPie on your Raspberry Pi.
All right, I got my Raspberry Pi, I got my microSD card, and I'm ready to start installing RetroPie. First thing you're gonna wanna do is put your microSD card into your computer. So next, I'm gonna open up my web browser of choice. Don't come for me. And we're gonna go to raspberrypi.com. Now we're gonna go over to software, scroll down here and download for Windows or whatever operating system you're using. So I'm gonna install that. This part's pretty easy, right? We've all installed things before. And here we are. So first things first, I'm gonna choose my device. And in my case, I'm working with the Raspberry Pi 4. So I'll choose that one. Next, I'll click choose storage. And that'll just be my microSD card. And make sure you pick the right one because this will wipe everything off your storage device. So be careful. So now last step is to choose our OS. So what I'm gonna do is scroll down just a bit until I see emulation in game OS. If I click on that, there it is, RetroPie. And here you'll pick your version of RetroPie depending on what kind of Raspberry Pi you have. But notice there's no version for Raspberry Pi 5. Well, that's because at the time of this recording, they haven't released one yet. Or at least there's not for me. There might be one for you if you're watching this sometime in the future. Now don't worry, you can still install RetroPie on a Raspberry Pi 5. I'll show you how to do it in just 1 second. But for now, I'm gonna use this method. So let's click next and press yes. And we're right into it. All right, here we go. RetroPie has been written to the SD card. You can now remove the SD card from the reader. So we're finished. I can remove the SD card, plug it right into the Pi, boot it up, and we'll be running RetroPie. But okay, what are you supposed to do if you have a Raspberry Pi 5? Well, you'll do everything pretty much the exact same way, except instead of choosing RetroPie as the operating system, we'll instead choose Raspberry Pi OS. You can just do the 64-bit version. And then we'll write it to the card, eject it, put it in the Raspberry Pi 5, and boot it up. And from there, you can install RetroPie on top of Raspberry Pi OS. Chuck is gonna show you how to do that right now.
Okay, you're rocking a Raspberry Pi 5 with Raspberry Pi OS installed. Let's now install RetroPie. First, we'll make sure our repositories are up to date. Sudo apt update, and then sudo apt upgrade -y. Perfect time for a coffee break. And it's done. One more coffee break. NetworkChuck.coffee. Next, we'll make sure that Git is installed. Sudo apt install Git. It should already be installed, just make sure. And then we'll use Git to clone the repository of RetroPie. We'll do Git, clone, and then our repository. Just copy and paste, commands will all be below. Then we'll hop into our RetroPie setup directory. Type in ls, make sure it's there. Yep, there it is. cd RetroPie setup. We'll make the setup script executable with the chmod command. And then we'll run that script with sudo period / and the script name, RetroPie _ setup.sh. Ready, set, go. Now we're in the RetroPie setup. Let's go through this. We'll hit OK. If you install 64-bit like me, you might get that message. It's not officially supported, but we'll still do it. To install everything, we'll choose Basic Install. In most cases, that's what you want. We'll go ahead and click that or hit enter, say yes, and we're off to the races. Okay, the install might take forever, like it did for me. And once it finishes, it may take you back to that same script prompt. You can exit that and then run the script once more. Here we got a different menu, and we'll want to change a few things to make this thing work. First, we'll scroll down to Configuration and Tools, and then we'll select Auto Start. That way, Emulation Station will auto boot when your Raspberry Pi boots. Just select the first option and hit OK. And once we're back at the configuration menu once more, we're going to change one more thing. We're going to enable the Bash Welcome Tweak, which will show additional system info on login. We'll go ahead and install that, and then we can exit our config, and then we'll do a sudo reboot. Once rebooted, bam, it should come up to Emulation Station.
All right, let's boot up this Raspberry Pi. I'm gonna use the monitor cam for this so you can see exactly what it looks like. So I'm gonna plug in the monitor through HDMI. All right, monitor came on, and I'm gonna plug in the power. Oh, here we go. All right, this is what you should see. Everything's just getting set up. And while this is setting up, I'm gonna get my, keyboard ready. This is a Raspberry Pi keyboard, but any keyboard will do. And also, I got my gamepad ready. So this is just an Xbox controller that I'm gonna plug in. And again, you can use any USB gamepad that you want. All right, here we go. So when you first open up RetroPie, you're gonna see this, no gamepad detected. All right, now, I would highly recommend that before you set up a gamepad, you set up your keyboard. No matter what happens, if you accidentally configure your gamepad wrong or anything, you will always have the keyboard to fall back on. So first we got D-pad up, so I'll just use the up arrow key. For start, I'll just use enter. Select, I'll just do shift, and A, B, X, Y, I just did Q, W, E, R. And for the rest, I'm just gonna skip them. So if you just hold any button, it will skip. We'll talk about hotkeys more in a bit, but you definitely want to have a key set to hotkey enable. So I'll just do a space bar and I'll hit OK. And we're in. So if I try using this gamepad right now, nothing happens because I haven't configured it yet. So to do that, I'm gonna go to my keyboard and hit start and go down to configure input and press A. Are you sure you wanna configure input? Yes, press A. And let's see if it'll detect this gamepad. I'm just gonna hold any button and there we are. So let's go through it. Super duper engaging content. Now, if you have a Bluetooth controller, you can set that up too. Just press A to go into the RetroPie menu and go to Bluetooth. Hey, I'm recording this like a week in the future because I forgot to show you how to set up a few very important things. Things like your host name, password, Wi-Fi, localization settings, and SSH. Yeah, I forgot a lot. But you can do it all through the RetroPie menu. We'll just go down to the Raspberry Pi configuration option or RasPi config, and I'll press A to open that up. So let me just zoom in here. This monitor's a little dirty, and I'll go to this first option, System Options. So navigating through this menu is kind of weird. First, you go up and down and choose the menu option you want, and then you press right to highlight the select option, and then you press B to select that option. Really weird. But anyway, let's go into System Options, and we can go down to Host Name and select. And here we can put in the host name for our Pi. So by default, it's Raspberry. I'm just gonna set mine to Gaming Pi B because I'm in Studio B at the beautiful NetworkChuck studio. And I'll just hit enter. And there's actually one more system option we'll wanna change. So let me go back into that menu and we'll go down to password. And yeah, it pops up in this little box in the bottom right corner. Let me zoom out. All right, I'll have my video editor zoom in on that. It is pretty tiny there, but I'm just gonna type in my password and hit enter and then retype it. And there you go, password changed successfully. Next, let's go down to localization options and we'll choose the second option, time zone. So first you'll pick your country. So I'll do US and select OK, and then your time zone. So I'm using Central Time, I'll pick Central. And let's go back to localization options one more time. This time choose the very last option, WLAN country, and then you'll want to find your country again. And you can use these shoulder buttons to scroll through this list way faster, all the way down to US, here we go, boom. And finally, we'll go down to interface options and choose the second option, SSH, and enable SSH. And that will allow you to remotely access your Pi from another computer on your network. And we'll actually use this in the next section when we add games to our Pi. But first, there's actually one more setting we want to change, and that's the Wi-Fi. And we won't actually do this through the Raspberry Pi configuration tool, so I'm going to go right twice and choose finish. It's asking if I'd like to reboot. I'll just hit yes. And this time I'm going to go to the very bottom option, Wi-Fi. So I'm already connected to Wi-Fi here, but all you need to do is press A on this first option. It'll scan for Wi-Fi networks, and then just scroll through and pick your network. Then just put in your password and you'll be good to go.
But I feel like this RetroPie is missing something.
Games. We need to add games. Otherwise, that's kind of the whole point.
Now let me show you how to get some ROMs on your device. Now I'm not gonna show you how to get ROMs, I'm just gonna show you how to get ROMs on your Raspberry Pi, your RetroPie. Now my favorite way is through SCP or secure copy. We're gonna copy the ROMs that we download or acquired in some means to our RetroPie over the network, which means we'll first have to find out the IP address of our RetroPie. Thankfully, we can just do that pretty easily. We'll hit the RetroPie configuration, and there's a little spot called show IP. We'll select that. Now mine's gonna be terribly small because I'm rocking a CRT. I can't even see it. Just gonna ping it real quick to make sure I can get to it. 10.70.2.128, there it is. Now to use secure copy to copy some ROMs to it. This command should work across the board, whether you're on Mac, Linux, or Windows. Now first I'll find my ROMs here. Got a whole bunch of these suckers. And I'm gonna right click that and say copy as path. I'll type in scp-r for recursive, and I'll paste in that path. And I'll do a / to copy all the folders as they should be to our new place, which will be our Raspberry Pi. Now my username was NetworkChuck at the IP address, 10.70.2.128. And then after that, I'll put a colon, a tilde to target my home directory, and I'll type in / capital R retro, capital P pi, / ROMs, /, and that should be it. Ready, set, go. It'll ask me to accept all fingerprints, I do, and then my password. And there they go. That's a lot of games. This might take a minute depending on how many games you have. So in the meantime, let's take a quick coffee break and I want to tell you about Alex and his problem. Yeah, he's got a problem. Passwords. You see, I use Dashlane for password management for my team. They are the sponsor of this video and I use it to keep my passwords safe both personally and for my business. And that brings me to Alex. Alex has the worst password management health out of anyone I've ever seen. Every password is pretty much the same. In fact, when I first met him, he had every password physically written down in a notebook to help him remember them, but it didn't matter. They were all the same. And it was personal information, things you could probably guess. Is that you? Is that your employees? Do you not know? It's kind of scary, right? But with Dashlane, it tells me. It tells me when Alex is being dumb about his passwords. It gives me password health on all my employees, and I can make sure that they're generating secure, unique passwords for every login. Silly Alex always wondered why he's always getting hacked. How do they keep guessing my secure passwords? Because they weren't secure, Alex. And because he never changes his passwords. Whenever there's a new hack, his password is all over the dark web. You didn't know that? When you hear about these companies with big password breaches, it happens to the best of them. Those passwords, your passwords, end up on the dark web. And if you don't have a routine of changing your password, someone has it right now, and it's just a matter of time before they use it. That goes for you and that goes for your employees. But with dark web monitoring through Dashlane, it'll tell you if it finds that information. The same way hackers will look at stuff on the dark web, Dashlane's using the same thing to monitor and make sure you're safe. So don't be an Alex, use Dashlane. Personally, it's amazing. And if you have an Alex on your team and you have a business, use Dashlane. You can make sure all the Alexes are taken care of. And it's more than that, you can actually securely share passwords amongst your team, and they even have passkey support. Passkeys are a lot more secure than passwords. Everyone's doing it, and you can store those safely and securely inside Dashlane. So again, what do we want to do? Not be like Alex. Get Dashlane, don't get hacked. Anyways, now back to Alex.
Now, once you have all your ROMs in, there are a ton of things you can do to personalize how everything looks. I'm not going to show you all of these because that would take forever. So first I'll hit start and open up my main menu. I'll go down to UI settings and press A. And I'm going to go down to game list view style. And you can see there's a few different options for you to make things look nicer. Personally, I prefer grid, but you can try out the different ones and see which one you like. Also, notice there's an option down here to ignore articles. In case you forgot, there are 3 articles, A, and the, and they can get kind of annoying when you're trying to sort things by name. So for example, The Legend of Zelda. It starts with the word the, but do you really want to sort it under T? Personally, I'd prefer to sort it under L, Legend of Zelda. So that's where this option can really come in handy. All right, so this looks okay, but all the games look exactly the same. So go back to your main menu, press A to go into Scraper, and this will allow us to grab box art and other metadata like the year it was released and a description for every single game we have. So first we'll choose where to scrape from. Personally, I've had better luck with Screen Scraper, but you can try them both out, pick whichever one you like. And then we'll go down to Scrape Now. And this is pretty cool. You can choose whichever system you want to go through. I'm just going to do them all. And I'm going to turn User Decides on Conflicts off. That way it just does all of them automatically, and then I can go through and fix the ones that messed up. All right, let's click Start. All right, so I have almost 300 games on here, so this is probably going to take a while. All right, after only 15 years, no, it took like maybe 30, 45 minutes. We have all the box art we could want. It looks so clean, really good. And if we open up one of these games, it works like a charm. I'm gonna be my main man, Yoshi. Now that we're in the game, do you remember the hotkey button that we set earlier? So if I press the hotkey button just by itself, nothing happens. That's because you're not supposed to press it by itself. You're supposed to press it in combination with other buttons. So for example, if I press hotkey and start, it'll exit out of the game and bring me back to the RetroPie menu. But there's more we can do. Let me open up a different game. So here I am in Donkey Kong Country, and I'm gonna press hotkey and my right shoulder button at the same time. All right, do you see that right there? Save state to slot number 0. So now when something happens, like let's say I die, I can hit hotkey and the left shoulder button to load that save state. Pretty sweet. Really useful for trying to get through some of these more difficult retro games. And you can save more than one. To do that, I'll hit hotkey and right on the D-pad at the same time, and look closely. You see that? State slot 1. So now when I make a save state, it saves to slot number 1. And I can do it again, go to slot 2 or 3 or 4. And if I press left instead of right, I can go backwards through the list. What else? Okay, hotkey and B will reset your game. And I'm just gonna load my save state so I don't have to go back there. And finally, hotkey and X will open up your RetroArch menu. Now the RetroArch menu has a ton of features. Way too many for one video to cover. I mean, you can get lost in this thing for hours, but this is where all of our emulator settings are stored. So for example, I can go down to controls, press A, go down to port 1 controls, that's player 1, press A, and I can customize all my controls. So for example, A button, I could set that to be Y or X or select or start or whatever. Now there is something extremely important that you must remember whenever you're changing any of these RetroArch settings. They don't save automatically. You have to save them yourself. So let me show you how to do that. I'm just gonna keep pressing B until I reach the main menu, and I'll go down to configuration file, press A, and save current configuration. That is extremely important. Do not forget that. All right, so let's start talking about some more advanced RetroPie settings. So let's start with cheats. Why not? I'll go up to my quick menu here and go all the way down to cheats. And there's a lot of options here, but none of these are really going to help you unless you already have some cheats downloaded. And I'm going to assume you don't. But luckily, RetroPie has a really cool feature where you can actually download a bunch of pre-configured cheats for tons of different games. So let me show you how to set that up. I'm going to back out all the way to my main menu and go down to settings. Then I'll go to the top, user interface. And finally, I'll go down to show advanced settings and turn that on. Now I'm going to back out and go back into user interface, and we'll see a bunch more settings appeared. And I'll go down just once to menu item visibility. Now I'm going to go down to online updater and turn it on. And I'll go all the way back. And now you'll see a new option on our main menu for online updater. Let's go in there and we'll go all the way down to update cheats, and they're downloading. All right, perfect. So now I'm gonna go back to my main menu again and go up to quick menu and go all the way down to cheats, and we'll choose load cheat file, replace. And here's all those cheats we just downloaded. So let's find my console. And again, I'm using these shoulder buttons to scroll through these menus way faster. Here it is. And here's all the cheats. So they're all off by default, but I can enable one. I'll do moon jump. That sounds fun. I'll enable it. And then once you've finished enabling all the cheats you want, you can go up to apply changes and press A, and let's see if it worked. Oh yeah, that's a moon jump, all right. In fact, I'm still in the air. I still haven't come down yet. Come on, Donkey Kong, where are you at? Yeah, he is just out of the stratosphere. How long is he gonna be up there for? All right, I think something might have gone wrong. I'm gonna try restarting it. All right, let's try that again. I just restarted. Moon jump, take 2. There we go. That's a little better. I mean, it really was moon jump though. I mean, he literally went to space. All right, next, let's set up RetroAchievements. All right, so let's go to RetroAchievements.org and let's search for a game. Let's say Castlevania for the NES. So here it is. You can see the classic box art on the side here. And if we scroll down, there are 74 achievements worth 646 points. But okay, how the heck do we set this up? Well, let me show you. First, we're gonna make a RetroAchievements account, but I already have an account, so I'll just click sign in, and I don't even need to remember my password. Thanks, Dashlane. Now, make sure you save your username and password. If you have a password manager like me, then that should be pretty easy for you. But yeah, we're gonna use that to connect our RetroAchievements account to our RetroPie. So let's do it real fast. Okay, so back on the RetroPie, first thing I'm gonna do is open up a game. So I'll just do Super Mario World. All right, now once we're in the game, I'm gonna hit the hotkey and the top button, so in my case, Y, to open up the menu. So from this RetroArch menu, I'm gonna press B to go back and go down to settings. Now I'm gonna look for achievements. Okay, here it is, go in there, and I'm gonna turn on achievements. Now I'll put in my username. I'll just use the keyboard, but you can use the on-screen keyboard if you like. And my password. Okay, not gonna lie, I actually forgot my password. Let me look it up on Dashlane. Oh, okay, here it is. And we have a couple more options. So hardcore mode, that just disables cheating. So no save states, no rewinding. So kind of like regular mode, if you think about it. And I'm also gonna turn on unlock sound just because I like it. Oh, although I don't have any speakers set up here, so we're not gonna be able to hear the unlock sound. Oh well. And of course, I'm gonna go back and go down to configuration file, save current configuration, just to make sure none of these settings get deleted. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and quit and reboot the game. And we should see something along the lines of, oh, and there it is, RetroAchievements logged in as Cheese Fruit and Super Mario World. All right, so we can now, let's try and unlock an achievement. Dang, I really wish I could hear this beautiful Super Mario World music, but what can you do? All right, I'm just gonna wing it, see if see how long it takes for me to unlock something. Come on, first dinosaur core? Nope. No. First death? Nope. I can't believe I died on the first bonsai bill. I swear I'm good at this game, okay? You know what, editor, you can just take that out. Oh, I died a second time! All right, get the cameras. We're not, oh my gosh. Okay, there's an achievement to just get a Yoshi, so I'm just gonna try and get that one. Come on. Boom! Achievement unlocked. All right, now I feel complete. Okay, let's talk about Netplay. So Chuck and I tried setting this up earlier, and it was a complete disaster. All right, now I need to set a server password, Chuck, and this is what you're gonna use to connect to me.
Okay.
I'm just gonna make it real easy NetworkChuck related. I'm just gonna do coffee.
You know, you would do that. Yeah, no one's gonna guess that password, Alex.
What?
Put that in Dashlane, you'll get roasted immediately. Anyways, continue.
Listen, you can only roast me once per video, Chuck. This is too much. But since then, I've gotten it to work, and I'm gonna show you how to set it up. Then Chuck and I will connect to each other through Netplay and play some games. So with Netplay, there's a host and a client. Now, it doesn't really matter which is which. For us, I was the host and Chuck was the client. But in general, I'd say it'd probably be a good idea to have the person with more stable internet connection be the host. Now, first things first, and this is extremely important, you need to make sure that the host and the clients are all using the latest version of RetroArch. Because if you're not all on the same version, it will not work. So let me show you how to do that. First, we're gonna go into our RetroPie menu, and we're gonna go down to RetroPie Setup. It's the little RetroPie logo here. All right, now you should see this. So we're just gonna go down to Update and press A. It says, are you sure you wanna update installed packages? Hit yes. Okay, now this will take a while. So I'm gonna set this down, I'm gonna eat some lunch, and I'm gonna come back to it. Okay, looks like it's finished installing. So I'm gonna hit enter. Now I'm gonna go down to the bottom option and do perform reboot. And I'll choose yes. All right, so let's go into a game and see if our RetroArch has updated. Okay, that's a great sign. Looks like it's updated, but I can double check. So I'm gonna hit the hotkey and X. So in my case, select X. And I'll go back and go down to information. I'll do system information, and there we go, RetroArch version 1.18. So as long as we're all on version 1.18, me and my friend should be able to connect through Netplay perfectly. So how do we actually set up Netplay? Well, we're gonna have to go back to the main menu. So I'm gonna hit start and the hotkey button at the same time, and I'm gonna back out of this screen and go over to RetroPie and head in there. Now I'm going to look for the RetroArch Netplay settings. So those should be right down here, and press A to go into those. So there's a few options here. Let's go through them. Option 1, set mode. So you can choose host or client. In my case, I'm the host, so I'll pick host. Number 2, we'll set a port. By default, it's 55435. You can change that if you like. Number 3, set host IP address. So as host, what I want to do is grab this little external IP number at the top right and send that to the client who's trying to connect to me. And option number 4 is your Netplay nickname. So you want to make this identifiable so you can tell each other apart. You can see mine's just set to Gaming Pi B. And then the very bottom, save configuration. Press OK. It'll save. And then you can exit. And now we're ready to boot up a game. So let's say I want to play Kirby's Dream Course through Netplay. All I need to do is press A as the game is booting up. So let's do it. I'm going to press A to go into the game, and then press A as the game's booting up. And now I'll go down to the second to last option. It reads launch with Netplay enabled. And I'll press A. And there we go. You'll see you have joined as player 1, waiting for client, Netplay port mapping successful. So I walked Chuck through how to do this. Let me show you what it looks like to set this up as a real life scenario. I'm ready if you are.
Totally ready. Let's go.
All right, let's set this up. So where are you right now? What are you doing? Are you on your main menu here? Are you on, what do you see?
Yeah, so I'm on the RetroPie main menu. I'm just scrolling through all the different game systems, which is crazy.
Beautiful. All right, so to set up Netplay, first thing you're gonna need to do is decide. You're gonna need to answer a question, really.
Okay.
Who's gonna be the host and who's gonna be the client?
Oh, I'm not doing anything. You're hosting. Yeah, this is your video, bro.
All right. I'll be the host. Either way, though, we're both gonna want to head over to the RetroPie menu. So just keep scrolling through all those game consoles until you see RetroPie.
All right, I see it. I'm gonna press A and get in there.
Now you should see an option in this menu called RetroArch Netplay.
Okay, got it. Now, you're going to have to guide my blind hands because the CRT monitor is not telling me anything.
All right, I'll guide you through here. So the first option is asking whether you're the host or the client.
Yeah, I want to select client.
Beautiful. All right, and then we'll go down to the second option. This is for the port we're going to use. So by default, it's set to 55435.
You memorized that, huh?
We can just try the default port. And we don't really have to mess with it unless it doesn't work.
Okay, I like it.
So let's go down to option 3. And this one's really for you. You're going to have to put in my IP address. Now, no?
No.
Oh.
This will just be my host address, which I think is auto-populated, so we don't have to worry about that.
No, it says set host IP address for client mode.
Right now I have it set to literally my IP address for the Pi.
But this is what's going to let you quickly access me.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Chuck, I'm the RetroPie master here, okay?
Okay, I'll do it.
Do you have a keyboard, I hope?
No.
Okay, well, can you see numbers?
Yeah, I can see numbers.
I'm gonna zoom in on my monitor cam because this is kind of tiny. So right there, you can see my external IP number. Now this is the number I'm giving Chuck so that he can connect to me. You having trouble reading it?
Yeah, I'm just making sure I put it in right. I'm not even sure. I think I did. I'm gonna press start to save that guy.
All right.
Actually, no, I don't do that here. I go to OK and I click OK. Yeah, it looks good.
Does it look good?
Yeah.
All right, well, hope it is good. So we'll just go to the last option to save everything and head back to our main menu.
Okay, I saved it and I'm gonna click exit.
Now we pick what game we want to play.
Okay, what are you feeling?
I'm feeling this little hidden gem on the Super Nintendo. It's called Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Ooh.
Have you ever heard of this?
Never.
Chuck, you're in for a good time.
Okay, so Super Nintendo and Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Let's go find that.
When you're booting up your game, you're going to want to press A.
So I'll press A to open it, and then when it's loading up, I'll press A again.
Yeah, couldn't have put it better myself.
Okay, cool. I'm going to try that out now. So I'm going to open it, and when I see it booting, here, I'm going to press A. Okay, cool. So it dropped me into a config area.
Perfect. I'm going to do the same thing, and since I'm the host, I'm going to ask you to wait for a second while I get mine set up.
Okay.
All right, now all I'm going to do is go down to option number, what does that say? Oh, it's not numbers, it's letters. Oh, can I just press, wait. It says Z. Can I just press Z and then this will just work?
Don't experiment.
I'll just go down to it. That's just easier. People aren't gonna have keyboards set up to their RetroPie. So from this config menu, I'm just gonna go all the way down here to launch with Netplay enabled. And that should start my Netplay host. All right, it says waiting for client. It's your turn, Chuck.
And I should do the same thing, right? So
That's
second
correct.
from last option?
Second to last option. Right?
Okay. Okay, so I'll click that.
Ah, I see you.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, I don't know who's left and who's right. I'm guessing that player 1 is left.
All right, I'm the guy, I think.
Dang it.
Oh,
There we go. I don't think I can kill the teacher, unfortunately.
What the hell is that?
I have no idea. There's a child? Oh my gosh. Yeah, let's find the zombies.
Oh, there's one.
Here we go.
Got him.
Oh my gosh, this game's kind of violent.
I feel like Rick Grimes. Ah, crap, it got me.
I'm out. You have 197 shots left.
Why
still.
do you have... What were you doing? What were you shooting
Did I just
at?
spam... Protect me, Chuck!
Oh, can we get in those graves? No.
Maybe.
What's the pipe? Oh, you can swim.
That is not a pipe. That is a nuclear waste tub.
Is this safe to be swimming in? I don't feel like this is safe.
We might turn into zombies ourselves.
Hey, I found a key. Okay.
All right, where's that door
I
at?
think it was over here. Yeah, let's go. Oh, yeah, we got in.
Wow,
there's
wonderful.
a dancing baby in here. Is that a man? I can't tell. What is this for?
I don't think we got anything out of this. Oh, you just killed the baby!
No, I think I collected the baby. I just kidnapped that kid. Yeah, hey, come collect this baby. Oh no, I got it.
Why don't we try some Street Fighter? Little fighting game. You see
that-
Street Fighter 2?
Yeah, let's go. You know, I don't think I ever played that one actually.
I'm hosting.
All right, I'm jumping in now.
I see you.
Perfect.
All right, perfect. We're in.
Dude, this is so cool. 2 different pies.
So sick. 2 different networks, 2 different pies. Oh yeah, this is definitely 2-player. All right, I'm going to be... I'm going to be my guy Ken.
I'm gonna be Sailor Moon, aka Chun-Li.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Learn the controls real quick. See if I can do any combos on you. Oh!
What the heck? What?
Gotta get a little
right in the
closer than
face.
that.
I'm just mashing
Just
buttons.
Spamming buttons, yeah. Oh,
Whoa, what was that?
I don't know how I did that, but I really want to do it again. Oh, there we go.
Whoa! I don't know any combos yet.
All right.
What's your combo? What are you doing? What are you doing?
We ran out of time.
Well, who won?
And I won by default.
Dang it!
Sweet. I'm gonna be this guy. He looks like he's kind of out of place, like just this grotesque monster.
I'm gonna be Ken. How can I not be Ken?
Oh my gosh,
That
this
dude's
looks like an
scary.
even match. I love these kick moves. I'm so agile.
I'm just gonna punch you in the nuts every time you come in here.
Wow, that is a terrible victory animation, I have to be honest. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, take it! Get it!
I can't do anything!
Get it!
Oh, time over. I win by default. What's up, Network Chuckers? I have some super exciting news for all of our NetworkChuck Academy members. We're posting 2 exclusive bonus videos where we show you how to set up even more RetroPie goodness. In one of them, I show you how to access your RetroPie from your web browser. Pretty sick. And in the other, we'll set up a custom relay server for Netplay that lets you use Netplay without having to deal with UPnP or any other router shenanigans you might run into. It's a ton of fun. And guys, I want to see your RetroPie setup. So go to the NetworkChuck Academy community and share it with me. It's free to sign up, and I will personally respond to everyone who sends me a photo of their RetroPie up and running. I might regret saying that. So what are you waiting for? Get to the Academy.